come out on Friday and give those final recommendations about who is at high risk and who exactly should be getting these booster shots, including those above the age of 65. For everyone else, we just need more data. People need to wait.
The CDC says new infections remain high in areas with low vaccination rates. In North Carolina, the family of Robin Cauley speaking out after she died of COVID. The 36-year-old was not vaccinated. Her brother, Brandon, now says he and friends are reconsidering getting their shots.
We've talked about it. We have. But like I said, just here recently in the last, while my sister was in the hospital, I've had friends that they decided to take the vaccine.
President Biden facing an uphill battle within his own party to bridge a gap on his economic agenda. ABC's Rachel Scott has more.
You have progressives who say they will not pass this bipartisan infrastructure package that Republicans and Democrats came together on unless Congress passes a much larger $3.5 trillion package first. Well, that price tag for moderates just is not going to cut it. They are asking, what is the urgency?
In New York, the UN General Assembly continues, along with more efforts to smooth out the U.S.'s relationship with France and Europe.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken touting the U.S.'s relationship with the EU.
A lot to talk about the work we're doing together, quite literally around the world, to include, of course, Afghanistan and the Indo-Pacific, in Europe. And beyond.
A senior State Department official telling reporters that Blinken and his French counterpart are expected to meet on Thursday.
ABC's Inez de la Cuetera reporting at the Foreign Desk. You're listening to ABC News.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and convenient. Your hearing aids are sent right to your door. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
Ah, you people at Lively are wonderful.
With Lively hearing aids, you get free shipping, 3 years of follow-up care included free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
Britain's Prime Minister throwing down a gauntlet to the world, speaking at the United Nations. ABC's Tom Rivers has more.
In just 6 weeks, the world will descend upon Glasgow, Scotland for the Global Climate Conference. But the international community remains divided, prompting this from Boris Johnson.
We must come together in a collective coming of age. We must show that we have the maturity and wisdom to act.
In short, he said we must grow up and tackle climate change. As part of that theme, he's calling on governments to establish tougher emissions-cutting targets and pledge more money to help poorer countries clean up their economies. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Here in the U.S., the EPA today is expected to introduce new rules to cut the use of hydrofluorocarbons used in things like air conditioners and refrigerators. Officials say it could help cut greenhouse gas emissions by 4.5 billion metric tons by the year 2050. And a 3,500-year tablet, originally believed to be from the library of an ancient Middle Eastern king, is headed back to Iraq, officials say, after its discovery in 1853. What's known as the Gilgamesh Dream Tablet was illegally imported into the U.S. and sold to Hobby Lobby, which put that tablet in its Museum of the Bible. After it was seized by federal investigators 2 years ago, the tablet will be officially handed back to Iraqi officials today. This is ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Good morning and happy Thursday. Our strong cold front has moved east and it's a cooler start to your day. We're seeing a mostly clear to partly cloudy sky as well. Highs today will be in the mid to upper 70s. Expect a beautiful afternoon ahead. We'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky, but more sunshine definitely with us later on in the day. For Friday, we'll start in the upper 40s to low 50s, so a cooler start expected, but then we'll see plenty of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. There is a little nip in the air this morning, my friends. It is 50 degrees out there, dropping back tonight to 45, so lows around 45 tonight. But all I'm seeing is sunny, clear weather, nice temperatures for the next 5 days. No rain in the forecast all the way as far as we can see right now up until Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll look at that when it gets a little closer. Sunrise this morning, 7:16, not far away. Sunset tonight, 7:23. And again, right now, we are 50 degrees and another great getting up morning here in the foothills. It's 6 minutes after 7. Thanks for joining us for the morning wake-up call. I have these death announcements now. Sammy Lee Harden, age 67, of Bostic, died Tuesday at his home. A memorial service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday at Concord Baptist Church. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 prior to the service in the sanctuary of the church. For safety of everyone attending, the family suggests that masks and social distancing be observed. The pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Sammy Lee Harden. Ricky Edney, 66, of Bostic, died Thursday, September 23rd. Those arrangements still incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service. And again, that's Ricky Edney. Cherie Monteque Spears Skidmore, 52, of Ellenboro, died Friday at Ruby Hospital, Morgantown, West Virginia. Morgantown, West Virginia. The funeral will be conducted at 6 o'clock Saturday, September 25th at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. The visitation will be from 4 until 5:45 Saturday at the funeral home prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Cherie Monteque Spears Skidmore. Becky Coffey Lauder, age 53, of Chesney, passed away Sunday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A private graveside service will be conducted for the family. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Becky Coffey Lauder. Arnold Bud Wesley Connor, age 78, of Gilkey, died Monday at Henderson Care Center. There will be a private family-only internet service for Bud. Mike Van's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Arnold Bud Wesley Connor. Benji L. Guffey, age 78, of Rutherfordton, passed away Saturday at her home. There will be a private internet for Benji at Southern Baptist Church. There will be a private burial for Benji at Southern Baptist Church, Rutherfordton. Mike Van's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Benji L. Guffey. Ray Isidore Bailey Sr., 86, of Rutherfordton, passed away Tuesday, September 21st at Willow Ridge. Graveside services will be held 4 p.m. Friday, September the 24th at Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, Polk County line, Rutherfordton. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Ray Isidore Bailey Sr. George L. Willis Robbins, age 84, of Forest City, passed away Saturday, September the 18th at Adrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in the Sandy Run Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 1 until 3 prior to the service at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Georgia L. Willis Robbins. Carol Lynn Upton Robinson passed away September the 21st at Rutherford Regional. A celebration of life will be conducted at a later date. The family will be gathered at 1580 Harris Henrietta Road, Forest City. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Carol Lynn Upton Robinson.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Thursday, I just read a column that says even though the woke movement is stupid, it may lead to some good things. The writer cited a greater sensitivity to historical injustice as one example. I guess the point is valid, but my analysis is that woke stuff far more often leads to a fascist denial of fairness than it does to enlightenment. As Joe Biden might say, come on, monitoring Halloween costumes for cultural offense, changing the names of sports teams, allowing cowards to demand safe spaces in the workplace and at school, dumb and dangerous. These woke fanatics are basically scam artists looking to accumulate power by threatening to lodge accusations and, in many cases, doing so. They are misguided people who want to destroy things and human beings. I despise them. So I avoid them. I interact with hundreds of folks, and not one of them, to my knowledge, is woke. And that's the way it will stay. Life is far too short for this nonsense. Now this. Thousands of abandoned animals in the USA need your help. Delta Rescue, founded by actor Leo Grillo, the largest no-kill care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. Their trained staff take animals in, provide them with food, water, treats, and affection. And your donation may be eligible to help lower your taxes. So please visit deltarescue.org/bill now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
100.9 FM and 590 AM.
The best of both worlds.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Pass it on. This time of upheaval is causing me to look a little deeper inside myself, looking for some goodness. And this is what I've found. I'm more aware of my neighbor's well-being. I'm saying thanks to those who help keep my life as normal as possible. My mail carrier, my grocery cashier, my delivery person. I find myself caring about others instead of just looking out for myself. And oh, my goodness, does it feel good. Goodness is in you. Pass it on. From passiton.com.
Early in September of 1876, the James and Younger brothers attempted to rob a bank in Northfield, Minnesota. Unfortunately, the robbery didn't go well and the gang got shot up. Because the Youngers were in bad shape, they separated from the Jameses. The Youngers decided to hide out in a slough. Riled up like a swarm of hornets, the Northfield citizens continued after the robbers for 2 weeks until on September 21, they found the Youngers, and in a hail of bullets, the shot-up Youngers surrendered. A wagon carried the Youngers and dead Charlie Pitts back to town. Expecting to be lynched at any minute, Cole and Bob Younger were surprised by the way they were treated. With no jail, the Youngers were housed in the hotel. Local women treated their wounds and gave them clean clothes and food. Women from the local church came to talk to the Youngers about their wayward lives, causing at one point tears to well up in the brothers' eyes. The Youngers each received life sentences. Jim Younger died in prison as the result of complications from the bullets that had riddled his body. After 25 years, Cole and Bob Younger were pardoned from prison. Within a year, Jim had committed suicide. Cole Younger joined up with Frank James and they toured the country in a Wild West show. Later, Cole went on the lecture circuit. Finally, at the age of 72, Cole Younger died. Incidentally, at his death, he still had 11 bullets in his body. One could easily say that Cole Younger was one tough cuss. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
What a beautiful morning to wake up to here in the foothills on this Thursday morning. Cool weather. It's a little bit nippy out there. If you have thin skin, you might want to wear a little jacket or sweater. It's 50 degrees out there this morning. Definitely fall of the year is here. Let's go to the phones now and find out what's been happening around our neighborhood in the past 24 hours or so. And Sheriff Chris Francis is on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I'm doing well. I believe you've been frequenting the fair a little bit so far this week.
I have been, and looking forward to seeing a lot of people tonight.
It's going to be, the weather's going to be better the rest of the week. We had a little rain both days, but I think folks are ready to move on out now and have a good time.
The rain cleared out about the time that the fair started last night, so I think tonight it's just going to be beautiful fall weather, so there's no excuses. Come out and see us at the fair.
There you go. Tell us what's been going on.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 175 calls of service. There have been 14 arrests processed at County Jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 220. Among those arrested, Daniel Roy Ledford, 51-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,500 secure bond. Brandy Brianne Laughlin, 23-year-old female of Mooresboro, was charged with failure to appear, driving while license revoked on a true bill and received a $500 secure bond. Oliver Ray Parton, 47-year-old male of Morgan, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,500 secure bond. Thomas Lee Hitt, 32-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and on a true bill and received a $2,000 secure bond. Samantha Rose Oswald, 33-year-old female of Fingerville, South Carolina, was charged with possession of heroin, driving while license revoked and failure to appear, and received a $4,000 secure bond. Juwan Rayford Tyner Jr., 32-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $6,000 secure bond. Jacqueline Major Porter, 22-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with injury to property and received a $500 unsecured bond. Juan Manuel Perez, 29-year-old male of Campbell, North Carolina, was charged with felony failure to appear and received a $20,000 secure bond. Jordan Terrell Carpenter, 34-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with failure to appear and resist obstruct delay and received a $1,600 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in and entering and larceny on Whitesides Road in Ruston. There was a Grisbin 13-arm chandelier valued at $150, a disposal, and also a Harbor Breeze fan. The fan was valued at $105. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
All right, Sheriff, I do appreciate that. Appreciate you reporting with us, and you be safe out there and enjoy your day, and let's keep locking them up.
All right, thanks, sir. Take care.
Ya. Bye-bye. Sheriff Chris Francis there on the radio. 911 report is next.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
And Jessica has the information for us from 911 Communications Center. She's on the phone with you right now. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
What's on that report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 449 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 70 EMS calls, 13 for rescue. Law enforcement Sheriff's Office responded to 175, Forest City to 53, Lake Lure to 9, Rutherford to 35, Spindale to 54. Fire calls, Ellenburg respond to a fire alarm, and Green Hill respond to a vehicle accident. That's all we've got.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye. 20 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock, and our weather forecast is looking mighty nice. Sunny today with highs around 73, wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour, so it's going to be kind of nice. We're being kind to Lois Whiteside today. Lois is having a 91st birthday. Lives over in Spindale, so we want to wish Lois a happy, big old happy birthday, 91 years young. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled ARYEE. One of those companies that gets the Jim Bishop stamp of approval. Go see him at ARYEE Accounting and Tax Services. 22 now past 7. Here's Ruby Taylor with a report from Danieltown, SDO Fire District. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today, Ruby?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Ben Putman, Randy Oliver, and McKinley Toms having birthdays today. I hope they have a nice day, and the signs in the neck today and going to the neck tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
You loving this cooler weather?
Well, I guess might as well. Got to take it.
That's right. Got to grin and bear it, don't we?
Go with the birds.
That's right. Have a good day over there, Ruby.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 22 past 7 o'clock, and we'll get to our next phone call right after we do this.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Let's check in with Gary Wilson now. He's up in Adam this morning, up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary, how you doing?
Well, I'm stoking the fire this morning. How you doing, Jim?
Right now, we need to bring another load of firewood, I believe, this morning, don't we?
It's about 53 degrees up here this morning. Going to be a little cooler than that tonight, they're saying. So
yeah,
just a little tease that fall is around the corner, I guess.
45, I believe they're telling us it may be tonight, but it'll vary point to point in Rutherford County, but that's the general consensus.
Yeah, it's going to be a little cooler than what we got right now. But we're quiet overnight up here, no calls or anything, and quiet 24 hours after a pretty busy weekend for everybody. And I'm sitting on about 53 degrees right now. Had a quarter inch of rain the last 24 hours, a total of about 1 inch total, and didn't get all that heavy rain they were talking about, so I'm glad that didn't happen. So everything's looking clear and good up here this morning, Jim.
It's going to be soon time for good old hot homemade vegetable soup, isn't it?
I tell you, it's about time for that anytime. I can eat that in the summertime.
I can too, Gary. Appreciate you being with us. You have a great day. Be safe up there, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
All right, talk to you then.
Thanks, Gary. It's Gary Wilson reporting from Fairfield Mountains and also Bills Creek community. Well, one thing I like about Washburn Store, well, there's many things I like about it. One thing I like particularly, though, is that many of the items they sell are made in North Carolina or made in the good old U.S. of A. Need some handcrafted candles, they got those. Troutman rocking chairs and stools, Afghans, some beautiful North Carolina Afghans, aprons and bonnets. They have wooden butter molds. They carry my favorite cherry wine. They have honey, local regional honey, jams and jellies, bologna, that cheese, big old cheese they can slice off your hunk or as much as you want. And you can get a gift basket for someone. Just tell them what you'd like to put in that basket and give it to somebody, and that will be so impressive. Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. I think you're going to love them. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. With the Bostic, North Carolina Fire District report, let's go to DeVern Upton. She has that information for us. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning, Jim. How are you this morning?
I am feeling great. Hope you are.
I'm feeling good. Mm-hmm. It's a fall-like morning over here. Our temperature is 51 degrees. It's very nice. No fire calls, no medical calls. I would like to report on the Whiffle Shop Bakery that's on Main Street here in Bostic. It's open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 2. It does custom cakes for all occasions and a variety of items for walk-ins. So if anyone needs any bakery, stop by.
Things are nice and quiet over there in Boston. We're glad to hear that, but thank you for keeping us informed, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, DeVern. DeVern Upton reporting from Bostic this morning, 27 past the hour. We're being kind to Lois Whiteside. What a birthday this is for her, 91 years young. She lives in Spindale. We want to celebrate her birthday this morning all the way through the day. It's a Be Kind To special day for Lois Whiteside.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
728. Is this Bob Hodge?
Yes, it is.
Is this Imogene Hodge's husband?
I think so.
How you doing this morning, Bob?
We're doing just fine up here on this chilly morning.
It is.
Yeah, it's a little chilly around the edges this morning. But we're getting that little touch of fall, ain't we? So.
Well, I hope it's not just a tease where it's going to turn off hot again, but I hope it's going to be sort of gently moving us into cooler weather.
Yes, it'll keep moving in a little at a time there to we'll have this cool weather all the time there. But it's real nice up here, though, so enjoy it. And looks like it's going to be a pretty day there. But the fire department is quiet overnight. Hadn't had any fire call. Want to say happy birthday to Carl Kelly this morning. And, Jim, that's about it up here. Things are running along good, and maybe we'll have a quiet day, and I hope you have a good day over there.
Thanks, Bob. I hope it is quiet, and we'll check back tomorrow and see how it goes today. You have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Let's check in now over at Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
You feeling good this morning?
I am. Hope you are.
I'm feeling great.
Well, good. You enjoyed the fair last night, I guess.
We had a good time over there. We sure did. A lot of nice folks came by. It was a little threatening with rain, but I think it kept some folks away. But this week is going to be full speed ahead.
That's good.
But they've got a nice fair going over there. It's really nice.
Yeah, I always enjoyed the Ellenborough Fair. I used to enjoy the Rutherford County Fair years ago.
I can remember that.
It was really good.
Yep.
Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I only have one birthday today, and it's on my personal calendar for Melissa Charles, so that Melissa's going to have a good day. And don't have any announcements, so not a lot going on over this way, but we like it that way, just calm and quiet. And looking for a good day and a good weekend, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. It's been nice and quiet just about everywhere, and I hope it stays that way. But, however, we do have a full moon, so watch out. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me, this coffee looks small.
That's our new large. The new large size is our old tall size, and the new tall is the old small.
So this is your small?
Nope, that's a new large, like you ordered.
Right.
These days, everything seems smaller. So we're going bigger with the Bigger Spin from the North Carolina Education Lottery. New scratch-offs with a chance at a live spin on the Bigger Spin prize wheel for 2 million big ones. And that's huge. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.62. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
High school football Friday night is going to be a big night. It's going to be nice and cool for the games. But our broadcast game of the week is Brevard at RS Central. Chase is at McDowell. Shelby is playing at Thomas Jefferson. Hendersonville at Polk County. And Stuart Kramer at Crest. All those games local and regional. And, of course, tomorrow morning about 8:05, we'll have Mr. Friday Night on, Jay Coombs, to talk about this lineup and what he forecasts for the upcoming rest of the season. High school football Friday night. We're going to check in now over at the Drop-In Family Mart. We're back in the deli business this morning. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
What's going on over there?
All right, everybody. Come on down and see us today. We got breakfast cooking. We got bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, sausage biscuits. We got breakfast pizza. You can get a hunk for $3.19, or you can get 2 hunks for $6.19. We do have a special going on, 2 liver mush biscuits for $2.99, and that liver mush is really good. So I don't know if you've ever tried it or not, but come on down and try some liver mush biscuits. If you don't want it on a biscuit, we can put it on toast, white bread. We can put it on a bun, whatever you want. Also, we do make breakfast burritos. A lot of people get sausage, egg, and cheese burritos, or you can get chicken, egg, and cheese burritos. If you want to put some onions and peppers on that, I can do that for you. We got our truck in yesterday morning, so we have fresh produce, fresh milk, whatever your needs are, we should have. I do apologize to everyone that our deli was closed Tuesday, but due to lack of staffing, it's been kind of hard and been pulling a lot of hours, so I had to have me a little break too, and sure. I do apologize.
Absolutely. You got to take a little break too. You don't overdo it.
I know that's right. So if anybody's looking for a job, you can come see me personally yourself, and I will give you an application, but I can interview you right on the spot. So if you're really interested, please come and see me. My name's Jessica. Audrey is also hiring up front. If you don't want to work at this store, that's perfectly fine. We have other drop-ins that are hiring. They're hiring for the deli and cashier as we speak. So if you're looking for a job, please, by means, come see me, Audrey, or just go by the main office or whatever store you're wanting to work at. You probably can just go in there, walk in there, and ask them for an application. Our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. until further notice, until we can get fully staffed. And Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sundays the deli is closed, but the store's open from 11 to 6.
Jessel, thank you. You're a real solid, dedicated worker. I appreciate people like you. You really know what to do with the job at hand.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You have a great day over there, and we'll see you next time.
All righty. Thank you. You too.
Bye. That's Jessica reporting from the Drop-In Family Mart there in the deli where breakfast is ready. Or you can special order. They'll do it your way. It's 7:35.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Thank you, Andrew Tisdale. 36 minutes now past 7 of Thursday morning. A beautiful one it is shaping up. Let's head up toward the Shingle Hollow Fire District now, and that's where we'll find Tina White. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning from beautiful Shingle Hollow.
Is it beautiful up there this morning?
Oh, yes, and the sun beams. The sun rose over my neighbor's house, and it's just shining right here on the front of my home, and it is so pretty this morning. It is cool. It's 51 degrees. Yesterday morning, after I heard Brenda Kelly say, well, hers was 64, I went back and looked at my thermometer, and it was 67 degrees yesterday, not 61, so I apologize.
We thought you hit a cold spot up there.
Well, I've double-checked and triple-checked. It's 51 degrees this morning, so it's chilly. I've been enjoying the coffee and watching the sunrise. Shingle Hollow Fire Department didn't have any calls. They were all quiet the past 24 hours, and Green Hill had 2 car accidents that they helped with yesterday. They were kind of busy with that. The birthday calendars, none on any of the church, but my personal calendar, I have Miss Jennifer Carver and Niecy Bumgardner. Hope they have great birthdays today. And for announcements, the White House Community Clubhouse is still having their tent revival, and they've actually extended it till Saturday night. So tonight will be Brother Dwayne Wright. Tomorrow night will be Bishop Henry Montgomery. And Saturday will be Boyce Morgan, and this starts at 7 p.m., and like I said, at the White House Community Clubhouse, and they have a big tent up there, and I hear it's going really well. So Saturday morning, the White House Community Clubhouse will have a buffet breakfast. Starts at 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. It's all you can eat. They have pancakes, eggs, grits, gravies, sausage, liver mush biscuits, homemade applesauce, homemade jams and jellies, coffee, and orange juice. And for Green Hill Baptist Church is having a community yard sale, and it's a big event up here, and it's on the October 16th from 8 a.m. till 12. If you would like to have a table, you can contact Rosemary at 289-4885. And I enjoyed watching some leaves fall yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah?
It's a little chill in there. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me back. You said October the 16th for that yard sale? So,
October 16th.
Okay, so it's not this weekend. It's next month.
Yeah, it's next month. Okay. If you're preparing, if you've got some yard sale items that you would like to come out and have a table, or just the back, and I've even seen people with their trunks or the back of a truck. Mm-hmm. It's community-wide, and lots of bake sale items usually too. So
oh yeah.
It's enjoyable to do that in the cool air and meet with, you're outside and you can still see some of your community.
Beautiful day for it coming up, looks like. In October should be a beautiful fall day.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. And
all
then,
right.
That's all I got today, I guess.
All right, Tina. Thank you so much. You enjoy your day and be careful up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Everybody be safe, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll check up with Union Mills next.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Moving around with our continued call around the county to find news, we're going up to Union Mills next and check in with Brenda Kelly to get the Kelly Report. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous cool Thursday morning?
I'm loving every minute of it.
I'm telling you, it feels good, don't it? And that big old moon is shining out there this morning.
Yeah, big full moon. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. I believe they said it was the harvest moon. But
harvest moon.
It was pretty. I know it looked like shining in my bedroom window. It looked like it was daylight.
I know. You probably, I was listening to Tina talk about that tent revival up there in that area. You're probably not old enough to remember when tent revivals used to be the thing. Everybody was doing tent revivals around. Did you ever go to one?
I've been to one, but it's been a while. But I remember tent revivals. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think. It seemed like there used to be one down on the lower end of Spindale, close to where Nunnery Tipton had a dish house, and it was across the road there somewhere. Seems like I remember that, but I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, and let's see. Somebody had a tent revival in the last, I don't know, 15 or 20 years over in Union Mills somewhere, and I went to it. I can't remember. But, yeah, I remember tent revivals.
They used to be very popular. A lot of churches would do those. They didn't have they'd bring in a visiting evangelist and a singer, and they'd set up a tent, and they'd sawdust down the aisles and these hardwood and benches. Yep.
And you can't even get a revival at a church hardly anymore.
It's an amazing change, hasn't it?
It's been a great falling away, hasn't it?
It's been a great falling away.
I'm telling you, we need to get back on the straight and narrow. I was sorry to hear about Benji Guffey's passing and Bud Connor. I went to school with Benji. I don't think I went to school with Bud, but I've known Bud a long time. I was sorry to hear about that. It just seems like every day it's just a bunch of obituaries, but that's part of life, isn't it?
It's settled down some now. We don't have quite as many as we've had in the past, but there's still too many.
Yeah, but we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 46 degrees on the front porch, and I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, Randy Flack will be at the Union Mills Learning Center on October the 1st. The music begins at 7 p.m., and then there's a meal available. It begins at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And then lunch at the Union Mills Clubhouse for Tuesday, the 28th, has been canceled due to COVID, so they're not going to have that. They'll just have to wait and see how things goes for next month. And other than that, I don't have anything. Just short, sweet, and quiet and cool up here.
It's been kind of quiet all over the county. I like that.
I like it, too. We don't need all this crime and stuff and bad accidents and stuff like that. We don't need it.
I'm ready for a long term of nobody shooting anybody, nobody breaking into anybody's house, nobody gets strung out on drugs. I love a long time of that. I'm ready for that, aren't you?
I am too. It just seems like sometimes it just breaks loose and that there's no end to it. But it's time for it to come to an end.
Satan is alive and well on the planet Earth.
Has been. Ever since he was thrown out of heaven, ain't he? Huh?
Anything else going on?
Not that I know of. I don't know of anything else. But if if there's anything anybody needs to call me, they're welcome to call me. If you can catch me at home, I'll put it down.
Well, you go take your little nap, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
All right, bye-bye. That's the Kelly Report from Upstate Union Mills this morning, and we're getting over to Ellenboro now and get that report. Let me remind you of a Braves game this afternoon, not a nighttime, but it's a daytime game this afternoon, and that'll be a first pitch is 3:35. We'll join the pregame following the talk show there. It ends at 3 o'clock. We'll join that pregame. We get part of that in. Then first pitch is 3:35 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we'll have that game. Tomorrow night, of course, Brevard at RS Central is our game of the week. Saturday, the Braves play the Padres, and Sunday, they're back to the Padres again. So we still have a few more Braves games. It's going to be in here pretty soon, unless the Braves come alive again and do something with the playoff. But right now, the season is soon coming to an end. It'll be Tar Heel basketball season coming up. So we got a lot of sports action for you on the most sports for the foothills, WCAB. And we're getting in touch with the Ellenboro reporter. If he didn't overdose on ham biscuits and funnel cakes last night, he should be available to give us a report this morning. See if the fire department had any action, any calls from over there. He was going to make the circuit, I believe he said, and see what all he could find to eat last night. And I don't know what time he got out of there, but it was a great fair. It's going to be a good week. Weather's going to be perfect for you. So if you're looking for an opportunity to support Ellenboro School and have a good family time, the Ellenboro Free Colfax Fair, it'd be a great place to go. It's clean, family-oriented kind of thing. They also have the bingo tent there. You can play bingo and call out bingo, maybe win a prize if you get the lucky numbers. Unable to get in touch with Luther this morning? All right, start calling your birthdays in to us at 287-3356. We'll celebrate birthdays on this 23rd of September, 287-3356, and we'll find out who's celebrating in just a moment.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. And it's a cool morning, a great morning for a hot cup of coffee and one of those delicious Daylight Donuts. They're open. They open early now at 6:30, so you can have plenty of time to get by there and get a load, take to work with you, or sit down in there and enjoy it with the fellowship of the people. It's a great place. They do a great job. And it's coming up for a weekend for pizza night, so keep in mind they do a great job on pizza at Granny B's. They got you covered with breakfast, lunch, snacks, and pizza. All that's happening at Granny B's Bakery.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going out to Eddie Jolly. Eddie Jolly celebrating today. So, Eddie, have a happy birthday. Make it a good one for you. We're being kind to Lois Whiteside of Spindale. Lois is turning 91 today. Want to wish her a happy birthday. And we have another one coming in. Brian and Shelley Melton of Sandy Mush is 26th anniversary today. And Diane Edwards also having a birthday today. So congratulations to these folks. May you have many, many more happy returns. Coming up, the keys to confident living. And we got stuff to talk about after 8 o'clock hour this morning. So hang around. My Great America with Jim and Butch at 9:05 is only happening exclusively on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
At one stage of his life, Teddy Roosevelt was a rancher with a number of ranch hands. During one of the branding days, one of his cowboys lassoed a stray steer and began to brand it with Roosevelt's brand. But Roosevelt protested that this steer belonged to one of his neighbors. That's right, the cowboy said to the boss. Roosevelt said to the man, "Drop that iron and get back to the ranch and get out. I don't need you anymore. A man who will steal for me will steal from me." The Bible over and over again talks about the importance of honesty and integrity. The Old Testament passage in Micah says, "Here is what God is looking for in men and women. It's quite simple. Do what is fair and just to your neighbor, be compassionate and loyal in your love, and don't take yourself too seriously. Take God seriously." And this is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living. I have several new books available by calling 1-888-333-KEYS. One of my newest books is Divine Benedictions, a rich study with commentary on 12 benedictions of Scripture. You can purchase the book at keyministries.net or by calling 1-888-333-KEYS. That is again keyministries.net or 1-888-333-KEYS.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds. This is WCAB.
Wormholes.com. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything. Do it today, and tomorrow you could start living the good life. FinancialWormholes.com. That's FinancialWormholes.com.
Hard work on the island of La Palma, rocked by a continuing eruption of a volcano and a lava flow that's 40 feet high in some places.
Firefighters are working to divert this monster any way they can. They're digging trenches and building walls of earth to try and keep it away from homes. Already 400 buildings have been destroyed and more are in harm's way.
ABC's James Longman, he's there. Experts say that eruption could last for weeks. Thousands of people have already been evacuated. The U.S. and Israel reportedly looking for a way forward when it comes to Iran. ABC's Jordana Miller has the story from Jerusalem.
U.S. and Israeli officials held a top-secret meeting last week to discuss a Plan B if Iran abandons the nuclear talks. According to an Israeli media report citing unnamed sources, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan held a secure video conference call with his Israeli counterpart and expressed support for additional U.S. sanctions. That is, Ireland's foreign minister says his Iranian counterpart expressed a, quote, very clear intent to return to the nuclear talks in their meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
More trouble likely on the way for the already parched areas and drought-stricken areas of the West. Federal officials say the shortage of water along the Colorado River will likely get worse over the next couple of years, and by 2025, California's water supply may be affected. This is ABC News.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Our cold front has moved east, and we are going to see a beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine for the afternoon, as we'll see a mostly sunny sky. And our highs today quite pleasant. They're in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Clear sky, cooler tonight. Will be in the upper 40s for some of us, back in the low to mid 50s for most of us Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another day full of sunshine. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. More sunshine Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We are still at 50 degrees. Beautiful weather shaping up. Beautiful sky, clear out there. Big full moon last night. And we're going to have beautiful weather for the next 5 days, it looks like, in our area. So be ready to enjoy autumn here in the Carolinas foothills. We got some stuff to talk about, some news from here and there. Let me remind you again that we're being kind to Lois Whiteside. She's 91, lives at Spindale, celebrating a birthday today, and she's sharing that birthday with us, so we appreciate Lois and hope she has a great, great day. And compliments of all of us to Lois Whiteside. Happy, happy birthday.
It's our 30th anniversary, but you get the gifts. That's right, Carolina West Wireless is celebrating our anniversary and celebrating you in a big way with incredible savings, like $350 off a new iPhone 12 or a $150 credit when you bring in your own device. And as our special gift to you, get an additional $30 off any other device promo in our store. Stop by today and let's celebrate our 30th anniversary together. Carolina West Wireless, celebrating 30, celebrating you. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
We broadcast our remote via Carolina West, and we appreciate our relationship with them. And we have another remote coming up here in a couple of weeks. We'll tell you more about that as it gets a little bit closer. And so we're happy to be out and about. Last night was fun to be at the Ellenboro Colfax Free Fair. We look forward to many more opportunities. To out and about, if your business would like a live remote broadcast, just contact us here. We'll be glad to set something up with you. Now let's look at some stories from here and there before 9:05 when My Great America is on the air. Wanted to do that this morning. Got guest coming up with that program. Daily Courier is reporting that the Thermal Belt Rail Trail is growing in popularity and gaining a reputation throughout the region as a place where runners, walkers, and bikers can enjoy the natural beauty of Rutherford County. You may have noticed them on our tracks with bicycles and running and walking. It's been gaining in popularity so much so in other surrounding areas are beginning to take notice. A group from Henderson and Transylvania counties visited Rutherford County and biked along the trail. This group is planning for a similar rail trail called the Acosta Trail that will run from Hendersonville to Brevard. Acosta Trail supporters also met with the rail trail partners to find out more about successfully creating and operating a rail trail. Craig DeBrew said they were very impressed, especially with the level of cooperation among the rail trail partners who are working so well toward a common goal of creating a high-quality experience for locals as well as tourists. DeBrew, a local government and community relations manager with Duke Energy, was among the Acosta Trail supporters and recommended the group visit the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. DeBrew's work area includes Cleveland, Rutherford, Polk, Henderson, and Transylvania counties. Though he lives in Cleveland, DeBrew and some of his family members occasionally ride bicycles along the Thermal Belt Rail Trail, so he's familiar with it. The Acosta Trail supporters were seeking another trail to visit when DeBrew recommended the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. Riding bicycles rented from a Spindale business, the group began their journey on the trail in Gilkey, accompanied by several members of the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition. The group made stops at the Beckler Mint site near Rutherfordton and then traveled to downtown Spindale. They made a stop at the Spindale House and met with town officials there. They continued their journey, ending at the pavilion on Park Square, where they gathered with the rail trail partners and other local officials for lunch. The group heard from local tourism officials, business people, and elected leaders. Rutherford County Manager Steve Garrison, also a member of the Rail Trail Partners, were among those at the lunch meeting. So we're getting some recognition. Garrison said the importance of developing and strengthening the partnership with community stakeholders was emphasized. These stakeholders include North Carolina Department of Transportation, Rutherford Outdoor Coalition, Foothills Regional Commission, Rutherford Chamber of Commerce, Tourism Development Authority, local businesses, trail users, and others. Spindale Town Manager and Rail Trail Partner Scott Weber also pointed out to the Acosta Trail supporters that the Thermal Belt Rail Trail is a proven economic boost for Spindale. The Thermal Belt Rail Trail is certainly an economic engine. It's not only has increased foot traffic on our main street, but I believe it has an influence on businesses deciding to locate here, he said. He continued to say the rail trail is a true tourism quality asset, is used by locals, and is attracting people to our area. Officials say the full impact of the Thermal Belt Rail Trail remains to be seen. The Thermal Belt, in case you ever wonder where that came from, the Thermal Belt Rail Trail was created from an abandoned railway bed and is just over 13.5 miles long. The trail had its official dedication about 2 years ago in October of 2019. It has been and will continue to be a real asset to our community, rather than letting the old rail body bed just grow up in weeds and make something positive out of it, and that's what's happened with this rail trail. Meanwhile, Madison County authorities are investigating a shooting involving a bow and arrow on Upper Brush Creek Road there on Wednesday. Authorities say a man was shot with a bow and arrow, and they have another man in custody. The SBI is assisting the Madison County Sheriff's Office with the investigation. The shooting happened about 1.5 miles past Madison Middle School. This is an ongoing investigation. The sheriff says he will release more information Thursday after the investigation continues. Don't know how many were involved in that shooting. They will tell us all of that when that investigation is complete. Well, a new warning has emerged over a COVID-19 variant that ripped through a Kentucky nursing home and infected 46 people, most of whom were vaccinated. 3 people died in the cluster, according to the Louisville Courier-Journal. The March spike has now been attributed to a variant of the virus that emerged in Japan and had evolved to circumvent the protection given by existing vaccines, according to Newsweek. An investigation by the Kentucky Department of Public Health revealed that one staff member who was not vaccinated infected others. Former Harvard Medical School Professor William Hasseltine wrote in Forbes that the new variant is called R1. After first being documented, R1 has infected more than 10,000 people around the world. The variant includes 5 mutations. R1 is a variant to watch, they wrote. It has established a foothold in both Japan and the United States. When is all this going to end? How many more variants are there that we have to watch out for and be afraid of? The CDC report said that 4 potential reinfections were identified, providing some evidence of limited or waning natural immunity to this variant. White House advisor, who some disrespect, some respect, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that the potential of a so-called monster variant exists. there's always a risk of, as you get more circulation of the virus in the community, that you'll get enough accumulation of new mutations to get a variant substantially different than the ones we're seeing now. You're vaccinated now to prevent the next mutant coming, the next variant from coming, but he admitted that emerging variants could be immune to the vaccines. Then it would, in many respects, negate some of the very positive protection that you get from the vaccines, he said. So there you go. I'm not a Ben & Jerry ice cream fan, never have been. I never have wanted to pay triple for what an ice cream cone should cost, and never have cared for the left-leaning political leanings of Ben & Jerry, but they have released now. You know, they sometime back we told you about they had stopped selling ice cream over in Israel because they don't support Israel. Now they have released a cop-hating ice cream flavor, and they back a bill to replace cops with social workers. These are the folks that own Ben & Jerry's. The coffee candy flavor, is that fair trade coffee? The young, liberally pierced man behind the counter, still sporting a circa 2017 man bun, drew in a deep breath through clenched teeth and 3 masks. It is not, I'm so sorry. The customer, wearing a more 2021 appropriate man bun and sipping kombucha out of a Camelback with a long, flexible plastic straw wedged under his 4 N95s, looked the scoop slinger up and down with a withering glance. He said, maybe I'll go with a pint, working his way over to the freezer. Do you have anything that's anti-Israel? Or maybe something dreadfully antagonistic to law enforcement? Something that really spits in their faces, he said. The Ben & Jerry's employee visibly brightened up at this. Don't worry, it's all anti-Israel. Occupied territories, we call them around these parts. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know your preferred nomenclature for the apartheid state, customer said. Totes all right. We all make mistake. Let's see, though. Cop hating, his voice trailed off as he worked through the freezer. Then he pulled up a pint with the same exuberance and triumphant King Arthur events when he uprooted Excalibur from the stone. Yes, this'll do. Change is brewing, a kombucha swilling customer asked. Yes, it's coffee flavored with brownies mixed in, and is the coffee fair trade? The customer said no. The company that produced it is black-owned, though. Oh, black-owned, that's very hot right now. That's real in. Exactly. Just unveiled this week, and it's in support of Democrat Representative Cori Bush's People's Response Act. That's hot right now, too. So hot. Squad approved. He could see the quizzical look in the customer's eyes, so his phone out and shoved it in his hand. Here, watch. That's great, but how am I going to divest from a racist criminal legal system by digging in? Well, let's see. It says here on our website that it's a bill that focuses on a health-based and inclusive approach to public safety. By investing in communities and ensuring that unarmed experts, rather than police, respond to mental health and substance use crises, it will strengthen our communities and save lives. A majority of Americans believe that something has to be done to change our system of policing, the employee continued, reading from the website. With its origins in white supremacy and slave patrols, American policing is violent, racist, ineffective, and punitive. It wasn't built to ensure and cannot guarantee the health, safety, and well-being of all Americans. Together with a criminal legal system that criminalizes poverty and black and brown people, policing is tearing communities and families apart. This is on the website of Ben & Jerry's ice cream fortune. The employees are reading to a customer who obviously goes along with it. He said, I don't want to sound as if I'm questioning your lived experience, but that sounds a lot like word salad of liberal platitudes that won't accomplish anything. Oh, no, it will, but don't believe me, he said. We're all into this. Let's defund the police and let's boycott Israel. That's the Ben & Jerry's. So, yes, I have no problem passing right by them. Have no problem at all. Yep. Matter of fact, they've done it many times. And that leads me to this next story and it horrifies me a little bit. Having been a school teacher for a short period of time and having kids and grandkids go through the public school systems, This is kind of a shocker. This is from World Net Daily. Young Americans are signing petitions to kill the U.S. Constitution. Some of them are saying there are a lot of outdated things in there that nowadays aren't accepted. So let's kill the Constitution is what they're saying. Ahead of Constitution Day on Friday, dozens of University of Florida students who were asked if they believe the Constitution is still relevant today signed a petition to abolish it and create a new, more inclusive document. A reporter for Campus Reform found many who believe the nation's founding document is outdated and should be scrapped. It has to be, one student said. It was written in the late 1700s. It wasn't written for the 21st century. Well, that's because those folks who wrote it didn't live now. They lived back then when they were forming our great republic. Another said there are a lot of outdated things in there that nowadays aren't accepted. It should be abolished, one student said. It's time for a new constitution. The Campus Reform reporter, Ophelia Jacobson, asked the students if they believe the Constitution is a symbol of patriarchy. All said yes. The time period was rich old white men, and that's exactly what that document says and stands for and vouches for, one student said. So it's time to rewrite the Constitution. These are young people, college-age young people. No doubt being taught that in some of the more liberal classes of some of the more liberal universities by some more liberal professors who are tenured and can't be fired. That's the battle we're up to in this country right now. Do we tuck our head, run and tuck our heads under the pillow and say, oh, it's bad out there? No, we try our best to stand up and fight, as folks are doing around the country, such as Mark Robinson, who is now the lieutenant governor, how he stood up to the Greensboro City Council and told them that he was opposed to them trying to take away our right to bear arms. And one led to another. Now he is going across the state talking about killing babies, how unfortunate it is that we've come to the point that we believe it's all right to kill babies in mothers' wombs. How bad it is for us to teach the kind of things in school that's been taught that needs to be wiped. He's a big spokesman, but he started out as just a community member, but got really caught up in what's happening to our country, such that he would never agree to rewriting the Constitution. He would be in favor of teaching students the real history of our country, the real history of our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. It's we as parents and grandparents and community leaders need to make sure that kind of thing is still being taught. Even in Sunday school we could teach about the Constitution and Declaration, because many of our founders, many of the folks who wrote the Constitution were prayer warriors. They were Bible readers. They were not up and down the aisle shouting kind of Christians, but they believed in the founding father of the world and believed it was the right thing to do to build a country based on those principles. And if we defy all that and take it all away, toss it away, where are we going with our country if we don't believe in the same kinds of standards and say the Constitution is outdated? It is not outdated. Our belief in it may be, because people are not being taught to respect it and not being taught to respect the Constitution and the flag of America, not taught to respect the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, not to be taught to respect elders as we meet them. Young person go ahead of you, in front of you, and slam the door in your face. They don't care about holding the door open for you. We're failing in our mission to train young people in this society. 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. Sheriff's Report's coming up in just a few minutes with Sheriff Chris Francis.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton.
Robbins Painting Carpet has become the friend of folks who do their own work around the house and friends of the professional. Robbins Painting Carpet is the headquarters for Benjamin Moore Premium Quality Paint. It goes on easily and beautifully the first time, every time. Save yourself some time. Do it right the first time with Benjamin Moore. Robbins will provide expert help and advice to make every project a success. Call on Jim and his team for refinishing floors too. Robbins Painting Carpet across from Quality Inn in Forest City.
Now, Sheriff Chris Francis, here is the report from him he gave us earlier.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 175 calls of service. There have been 14 arrests processed at county jail, and currently incarcerated we have 220. Among those arrested, Daniel Roy Ledford, 51-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,500 secure bond. Brandy Brianne Laughlin, 23-year-old female of Mooresboro, was charged with failure to appear, driving while license revoked and on a true bill, and received a $500 secure bond. Oliver Ray Parton, 47-year-old male of Morganton, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,500 secure bond. Thomas Lee Hitt, 32-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear and on a true bill and received a $2,000 secure bond. Samantha Rose Oswald, 33-year-old female of Fingerville, South Carolina, was charged with possession of heroin, driving while license revoked and failure to appear, and received a $4,000 secure bond. Juwan Rayford Tyner Jr., 32-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $6,000 secure bond. Jacqueline Major Porter, 22-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with injury to property and received a $500 unsecured bond. Juan Manuel Perez, 29-year-old male of Campbell, North Carolina, was charged with felony failure to appear and received a $20,000 secure bond. Jordan Terrell Carpenter, 34-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with failure to appear and resist obstruct delay and received a $1,600 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in and entering in larceny on Whitesides Road in Rutherford. There was a Grisbin 13-arm chandelier valued at $150, a disposal, and also a Harbor Breeze fan. The fan was valued at $105. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Held the Rays to a 7-1 win over the Blue Jays. Meadows' blast occurred long before teammate Kevin Kiermaier was hit by a pitch and perceived retaliation. On Monday, Kiermaier picked up a scouting report that fell off the wristband of Blue Jays catcher Alejandro Kirk during a play at the plate. Kiermaier refused to give it back. Manager Charlie Montoyo says he understood why the Rays and umpires thought it was a purpose pitch.
I understand what it looks like. That's why I don't get excited, because I understand what the other team thinks about, what the umpires are thinking about, because that team was out for 2 days.
Yandy Diaz and Taylor Walls drove in 2 runs apiece as the Rays improved to an AL best 94-59. I'm Dave Ferry.
The Braves maintaining their lead in their division with a 9-2 win over the Diamondbacks. Interesting game, 3 home runs. There would have been 4, but Adam Duvall passed a teammate on the base paths. Braves manager Brian Snitker.
That was just a weird thing on the homer by both, because I wasn't sure he didn't catch it either. But it's a shame he lost the homer. He still got the RBIs.
A plan to expand the college football playoffs has stalled. They were unable to formulate a consensus. Yesterday was a meeting of the CFP Management Committee. You're listening to NCN Sports.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops in 2020 and 2021. Our philosophy is simple. Be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
It's the United States versus Europe today as golf's Ryder Cup begins in Wisconsin. More from CBS News correspondent Steve Futterman.
The best golfers in the U.S. and Europe are facing off in a competition unlike any other. Normal golf decorum is thrown out the window. At times, fans actually chant, and players get into it too. After a key putt, players on each team sometimes high-five one another. Europe has won 4 of the last 5 competitions. This year's U.S. team includes Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth. The European team includes Rory McIlroy. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
Back to baseball. The Yankees completed their sweep of the Texas Rangers with a 7-3 victory. Meanwhile, the Boston Red Sox pounded the New York Mets 12-5. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Our cold front has moved east, and we are going to see a beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine for the afternoon, as we'll see a mostly sunny sky. And our highs today quite pleasant. They're in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Clear sky, cooler tonight. Will be in the upper 40s for some of us, back in the low to mid 50s for most of us Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another day full of sunshine. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. More sunshine Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
According to Weather for You, it's a good time to be outside today. Air quality is good, and our temperature is going to be rising up to about 73 in wind about 13 miles per hour. Right now we are at 51 degrees, and the sun is shining beautifully out there. Cool weather back tonight, dropping back tonight to about 45 for the overnight low, so maybe need to pull a blanket out of the closet, put it over the bed tonight. Sunset at 7:23 this evening. We do have a full moon out there tonight and tomorrow for a few days. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood for these days. As far as we can see right now, all the way through, looks like, let me see here, I believe it's Wednesday of next week, mostly sunny skies. It's getting cool, and then it's going to warm back up a little bit during the daytime. But let's get out and enjoy the outdoors as much as you can. In case I don't want you to go away not having learned something this morning. In case you ever are in a trivia contest or on Jeopardy or something, I want you to have the answers to some questions in case anybody ever asks you, or you might pose these questions to someone around the coffee mug. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television, according to this resource. And oak trees do not produce acorns until they are 50 years old or older. Yep. So you see, older folks, if you haven't produced anything, if you're getting up into 50, you still can produce something. Oak trees are examples. The first product to have a barcode was Wrigley's gum. And the King of Hearts is the only king in the deck of cards without a mustache. Did you know that? See how important it is to listen to this radio show? You learn so much. It's very worthwhile information. And American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by eliminating one thing. American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by eliminating one olive from each salad served in first class. Can you imagine that? So there you go, folks. Now you're up to date. You can pass the trivia contest or go on Jeopardy and say, I'll take Wrigley's gum for whatever the question happened to be. 9:05 this morning. It's My Great America with Jim DeBush, and I love living in America. I love America. I don't like where America is going right now, but I do love America, and I love our founding fathers' inspiration and character and dedication to make us America, make us become a free country. But I don't like some of the things taking place. I don't like some of the attitudes and some of the mindsets of some of our leaders. For instance, President Biden strongly supports Nancy Pelosi's bill to overturn every pro-life law in America. Nancy Pelosi wants to overturn every pro-life law in America, and President Biden supports that. The White House has released a new statement about a Democrat bill the House will vote on supposedly this week that Nancy Pelosi is pushing that would overturn every pro-life bill in America that saves babies from abortions. And Joe Biden strongly supports the measure. I can't see it in my mind. I just can't understand that, folks. I just cannot understand why they think that's okay. The so-called Women's Health Protection Act would invalidate nearly all existing state limitations on abortions, according to the Director of Federal Legislation for National Right to Life. This legislation would also prohibit states from adopting new protective laws in the future, including various types of laws specifically upheld as constitutionally permissible by the U.S. Supreme Court. But that's just fine with America's radical pro-abortion president. He thinks that's great. Well, as much money as the pro-life organizations, Planned Parenthood, and folks like that, as much money as they donate to these Democrat candidates, they got to support them or the faucet will be turned off. And that speaks well of the kind of character these folks have. A statement of administration policy from the Office of Management and Budget said the White House strongly supports House passage of H.R. 3755, the Women's Health Protection Act of 2021. See how they put the words on there that makes it say, we want to protect women's rights, don't we? We want to protect their health, don't we? Well, what they do, just like Planned Parenthood, sounds like, we'll have young mothers, young brides plan their... No, Planned Parenthood is an abortion industry. And this Women's Health Protection Act 2021 is an act to take off any protection of babies. Strongly supports overturning every pro-life law in America. And this president is all supportive of that. Leading pro-life advocates warned that it is the most pro-abortion bill ever considered in Congress. You thought Roe versus Wade was something. Wait till this bill comes out, and it'll be worse than any. Tom McCluskey, president of March for Life Action, told the Washington Examiner that Joe Biden's descent into abortion extremism has reached a new low with his support of this legislation. This bill goes far beyond codifying Roe versus Wade. It seeks to overturn the hundreds of state laws across the nation that protect women and the unborn, and would effectively outlaw new pro-life laws without federal permission. Your hands are going to be tied if this law passes. States can no longer do what Texas just did. Biden, Pelosi, and other pro-abortion extremists want the bill approved as a response to the new Texas abortion ban that protects babies starting at 6 weeks when their heartbeats can be detected in a sonogram. Put a sonogram on a mother's tummy and they hear the baby's heartbeat. Oh, well, that's okay. Let's go ahead and kill that baby. I don't understand that kind of heart, folks. I don't understand that kind of mindset. I just don't understand that. It's hard for me to grasp how that's okay. To say, well, yeah, that baby's got a heartbeat, but let's go ahead and kill it anyway. Let's just go ahead and suck its brains out and toss it away like a piece of trash. The White House called the Texas law extreme and said the law blatantly violates existing Supreme Court precedent established under Roe versus Wade nearly half a century ago. Half a century ago, that's a lot of babies that had been killed since Roe versus Wade went into effect. A lot of millions of babies have been killed. In the wake of Texas's unprecedented attack, it has never been more important to codify this constitutional right and to strengthen health care access for all women, regardless of where they live. The administration looks forward to working with Congress as the Women's Health Protection Act advances through the legislative process to ensure that this bill codifies and is consistent with the protections established by Roe and subsequent Supreme Court precedent. They can push it right through if they can, folks. I tell you, that's why it is so important that you know who it is you're voting for. Ask them questions. I've known candidates that you would have thought were right on down the line. We said, let's protect babies. But when it came time to be on the platform with folks who were opposed to letting babies live, they said, oh, yeah, I'll go along with that. It killed them. It killed their political future. Fortunately, the bill would face an uphill battle in the Senate right now, where pro-life Republicans can filibuster the measure and where at least one Democrat, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, would likely vote against it. Hopefully he would stand true to that. Carol Tobias, president of National Right to Life, said the measure would essentially remove all legal protection for unborn children on the federal and state level. The Women's Health Protection Act is, in effect, a no limits on abortion until birth bill. There's a lot of battles going on and a lot of folks fighting these kind of things. This Faith Freedom Coalition is meeting Saturday over in Mount Airy. It's a sold out all-day meeting, Friday night and Saturday, because folks are fortunately getting up in arms about what's taking place with this liberal administration. Tragically, the only ones to benefit from such a law would be abortionists and abortion providers such as Planned Parenthood. This legislation that they're trying to push through endangers women and their unborn children, would expand taxpayer funding of abortion, and would no longer require that a woman be given information about the development of her unborn child. Now you go to a place like Hands of Hope, and ladies can get information, and and daddies can get information about the baby, and they can do a sonogram and find out there's a real live human being in there that's with a heartbeat. But if this bill goes through, they'll stop all that. Places like Hands of Hope would be no longer in existence because it'd be against the law to try to give the information to young pregnant girls. The bill would end bans on elective abortions being performed after 20 weeks when an unborn child is capable of feeling pain. It said, and bans on the use of abortion as a method of sex selection. It's crazy out there. It's something we really need to be pay attention to. If passed, here's what the bill would do. If passed, it would eliminate all state and federal parental consent laws in relation to abortion. Eliminate all state informed consent laws, including those that allow women to view an ultrasound prior to abortion. You wouldn't be able to see that ultrasound anymore. Prevent states from passing laws to protect babies at 20 weeks, thereby joining countries like North Korea, China, Vietnam, Singapore, Netherlands in not protecting unborn children later in development. You want that to happen? You want it to be against the law for you to try to protect that baby in the womb? What something else this bill does, force doctors and nurses opposed to abortion to lose their jobs. And Catholic hospitals could lose public funds unless they perform abortions, going against your Christian beliefs. If you're a Christian, working in a Christian hospital that is not in favor of abortion, you'll be forced to do abortion or you lose your funding. Sound like Chicago Mafia. We'll protect your business, but you got to pay us to do that. If you don't pay us, then we'll burn your business down. If you don't pay us, if you don't pass this bill, and you go ahead and refuse to do abortion, then we're just going to cut your money out. Another thing this bill does, it eliminates decades-long limitations on direct taxpayer funding of abortions, including the popular Hyde Amendment, which has saved over 2 million lives since enacted. The bill also, in short, overturned all federal and state pro-life laws and go further to make it illegal for elected officials to even introduce pro-life legislation. You see what they're doing? Make it illegal for elected officials to even introduce pro-life legislation? You do it my way, folks, or we're going to cut you right down to the knees. That's what this Democrat administration is wanting to do. And they're trying their best to cram all this down our throats before the next election because they see the handwriting on the wall. They see they're on short leashes right now, so they're trying their best to get these things passed. And with the protesting and the conservative principles and the prayers with Christian people across the nation in churches and special organizations, that's the only way it's going to stop this thing. As you can see, this bill would take pro-abortion extremism to a new and alarming level. To make matters worse, they have even erased all references to women from the language of the bill, strangely only keeping it in feel-good title. The radicalism of this Congress and their attacks on the inherent dignity of the human person are unprecedented, In the face of this bold radicalism, we must also raise our voices and defend mothers and the unborn from this agenda, and we need to fight. If you know a congressman that you think might be leaning towards supporting this, you need to write them and let them know your thoughts on that, because it is undoubtedly the worst piece of legislation this liberal crowd has ever brought forth in terms of protecting human life. It's not our place to play God, folks. It's not our place to decide if a baby lives or dies. It's not our place to say, well, I meant to have a little boy. That's a little girl. I don't know that. It's not our place. Not our place. It's 8:43. I'll be back. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
8:44, coming up in just a little while, about 20 minutes from right now, My Great America with Jim and Butch. There's a lot of great things, and there's a lot of these things I'm talking to you about that are not great about America, but we're great in America because we can stop those kind of things. We can vote those people out. We can vote people in there who do believe in the Judeo-Christian. They don't have to believe the same denomination we are. They don't have to attend the same church we do. But if they believe in the Constitution, believe in the Holy Scriptures, and believe in the Judeo-Christian values, and have some leadership skills, they're the ones we need to put in there and vote out these folks who have no concern whatsoever of Christian values and believe it's okay to take a baby out of a mother's womb and throw it away. We don't need people like that up there. Until breathe my last breath, I'll be fighting that cause and talk about anybody that believes it's okay to take a baby out of a mother's womb and toss it away like a piece of trash. Meanwhile, let's move on. I got to hurry up, get out of here. We got to make room for My Great America. There is a numbers. The numbers, they love to play these numbers in the national news media and keep us panicked about how many there are, the numbers that are dying, and the numbers that have COVID and all those. I don't get me wrong. I know COVID is real. I know people have had it. I know people have died from it. They've died with it, and they've died from it. I know. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But the numbers are not always as what's being reported. For instance, here's a story out of WorldNet Daily. Kristen Riley died with a gunshot wound in her head last year. But Colorado officials said the actual cause of her death was COVID-19. Murder-suicide instantly classified as COVID deaths. Her husband, Lucasha Riley, after allegedly shooting his wife in the head, turned the gun on himself and committed suicide. He also died of COVID, the bureaucracy in the far left determined. Not she was murdered, not he committed suicide. They both died of COVID, according to the records. The details are from a new report from investigative reporter Cheryl Atkinson, who noted the explanation from coroner Brenda Bach in Grand County where those two deaths happened. Buck said, quote, I had a homicide-suicide the end of November, and the very next day it showed up on the state website as COVID deaths. Buck goes on to say, and they were gunshot wounds. And I questioned that immediately because I had not even signed off the death certificates yet, and the state was already reporting them as COVID deaths. Buck explained that nowhere in the death certificate is COVID mentioned. So we have a homicide, suicide, nothing to do with COVID. That case had nothing on the two later Grand County deaths that popped up on the state's COVID count. That's because those people were actually still alive. Another case. The county commissioners asked the state to correct its reporting, and eventually some adjustment was made, but James Caruso, chief medical examiner in Denver, said the same issue was found statewide. He told Atkinson, quote, I think early on the people signing the death certificates probably were doing it accurately, but at some level, maybe the state level, maybe the federal level, there's a possibility that they were cross-referencing COVID tests and that people who tested positive for COVID were listed as COVID-related death regardless of their true cause of death, end quote. He said he warned the State Department of Public Safety that there were, in fact, significant differences between dying of COVID or with COVID. At issue is the death toll in the United States being blamed on the virus that likely escaped from a Chinese research facility where scientists work on how to make them more dangerous. Some 640,000 deaths in the United States have been blamed on COVID since it arrived early in 2020. Some charge the death toll is much higher, some lower. But it has been blatantly political, with legacy media organizations blaming President Trump for the first 300,000 or 400,000 deaths that happened during his presidency. But they've been conspicuously silent on about the same number of deaths under Biden's presidency. Bach told Atkinson she discussed the errors in the state system with Governor Jared Polis. He told me he didn't believe it was right, but he wasn't going to have them remove it, the homicide and suicide victims, from the account because all of the other states were doing it that way, so we were going to do it also. Monkey see, monkey do. Blind leading the blind over the cliff. Well, I'm going to follow him. That state's doing it, so I'm going to do it. You notice how in an early onset of this, every state, not every state, but the blue states were waiting on the governors of those other blue states, how are they handling it? That's how we're going to handle it too. North Carolina did a lot of that. Polis refused to be interviewed by Atkinson, but a spokesman said the state website added a note explaining some deaths occurred when the individual had COVID-19. Under Polis' tenure, the state of Colorado has reported just under 14,000 COVID deaths, with about half of those dying with COVID. Atkinson reported the obvious implications are huge if such a significant number of Colorado's COVID deaths weren't directly caused by COVID or even related at all in some cases, and if that bears out in other states, it means the national totals we've heard since the start of this pandemic could be very Dr. Deborah Birx, who is on the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said the process is simple. If someone dies with COVID-19, we're counting that as COVID-19 deaths. If you die with COVID. So you could have COVID, a mild case of COVID, and what they're saying, if you have a mild case of COVID and you get killed in a car wreck, then they're going to write that down as a COVID death. Is that fair? Is that right? In Nashville, Hal Short died of cancer after testing negative for COVID, but his wife saw his death described as being caused by COVID. Anthony Fauci, Biden's chief medical advisor, still insists the number of COVID victims is higher. So the numbers, some numbers are real, but the numbers they're quoting are not necessarily real because, as I've said many times, you can die with COVID or because of COVID. So let's put the numbers right. If you die with a heart attack, put it down. If you die with a suicide and you shot your wife and then you kill yourself, that's murder, suicide. That's not COVID. Let's get these numbers right across America, folks. We need some transparency in all this COVID pandemic. Yes, it is real. Yes, people are getting sick with it. Yes, we need to take care of ourselves. Yes, if you feel compelled to do the vaccine, take it. If you don't feel compelled, don't let anybody force you into it or take your rights away from you if you don't do it. It's not right to take away our freedoms in America because we don't follow their guidelines. If we don't want to walk off that cliff behind them, make your own decision. And they shouldn't be taking our rights and privileges away because we don't see it that way. All right, that's enough out of me. I got to get out of here. We'll rest up the old vocal cords here this morning. I've talked a lot, and Butch will be on with us in a few minutes for My Great America with Jim and Butch, and we'll see what's up. I think it's going to be an interesting program today. We'll find out in just a few minutes.
Rutherford County loves tractors, and you don't want to miss the Tractor Show fundraiser at South Mountain Christian Camp on Saturday, October 16th. This event will feature a variety of tractors and farm equipment on display, as well as some antique cars and trucks. There will be free activities for the kids and a variety of vendors. Admission is free, but bring your cash donations to vote for your favorite pieces of equipment. All funds support the ministry of South Mountain Christian Camp. Don't miss this event on Saturday, October 16th at South Mountain Christian Camp. Visit southmountainchristiancamp.org for more information or call 245-3322. That's southmountainchristiancamp.org or call 245-3322.
Don't miss the excitement of the Tractor Show on Saturday, October the 16th from 10 until 3.
Get back in the swing of things with a special deal from Lifestyle Wellness and Spa. For a limited time, join for $5 and get 1 month free. Get that energy back, flexibility of your joints, and a better outlook on life. For $5, join today and get 1 month free. First-class equipment and plenty of space for you to choose your style of fitness. The pool and hot tub alone are worth the price. Contact the professional-friendly staff at Lifestyle Wellness and Spa and get going for a feel-better you. For a limited time, join for $5 and get a month free. 247 Oak Street, extension Forest City, and you'll be saying, oh, I feel so much better. 23rd of September, and today is Lois Whiteside's birthday, and we're being kind to her all day. Turns 91. She lives over in Spindale, so happy birthday, Lois. And thank you for letting us share your birthday with everybody else, and we wish you the best. May it be the best one you've ever had, Lois. And continue listening to WCAB. 8:54, and let's see. We got beautiful weather. Let's see if I've left a lot of stuff out. I know I've got a stack right here we'll get to when I have more opportunity and time for that. But right now we got to move on and do some other things. A classic oldie show at 9:30 this morning with the best in classic oldies you'll want to find. Tomorrow's show, we'll have Mr. Friday Night on 8:05 to talk about Friday night football lineup and what's happening in the high school football lineup, and we'll see what that takes place. I'm interested in this Shelby-Thomas Jefferson matchup. That's an unusual matchup, it seems to me, but we'll find out how that happened and why that's happening. All that's happening right here. And we have Braves this afternoon, Braves and the Diamondbacks, 3:35 first pitch. We'll have that action for you. And stay tuned. We get to do so much for you, and we hope you'll appreciate that. So long till 9:05 this morning. I'll see you next time.
The music's on us, WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. First-time unemployment claims edged up last week. ABC's Aaron Katersky has details.
For a second straight week, jobless claims rose slightly, a sign the virus may be blocking the job market's rebound. 351,000 Americans filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits. That is still way below the pandemic high, but it's elevated compared to before the pandemic. Hiring was slower last month, and nearly 3 million Americans are still receiving unemployment aid.
The president will get briefed again on 2 infrastructure proposals. This as members of his own party are debating his $3.5 trillion human infrastructure plan. ABC's Cecilia Vega says with Republicans also opposing the proposal, Democrats need every vote.
It's the moderates. They're balking at that giant price tag. The progressives basically say it's all or nothing. They want to cover these social programs while they've got control of Congress and the White House. There is a vote scheduled for Monday on that traditional infrastructure package.
Pfizer's COVID booster shots could get final CDC authorization today. The third dose given the FDA green light for Americans 65 and up and those at high risk. ABC's Whit Johnson has more.
Now, booster shots will be limited to a specific group at first, but the head of the FDA is not ruling out expanding eligibility to more people in the future as more data becomes available. She said this pandemic is dynamic and evolving, and they will continue to react to the rapidly changing science.
In Spain, the volcano on La Palma Island continues to spew with a slow wall of lava creeping into communities. ABC's James Longman is there.
The true scale becoming clearer. Lava shooting hundreds of feet up. I could even feel its heat.
When the volcano first erupted over the weekend, authorities sprang into action and it felt like things were under control. But as new fissures have opened up, lava has spread more widely and this situation feels more and more unpredictable.
ABC's James Longman, you're listening to ABC News.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
The search continues in southeastern Florida today for Brian Laundrie. He's the fiancé of Gabby Petito. She died during their cross-country trek. Her body found in Wyoming. Their death considered a homicide. Officials think he might be in that 25,000-acre swamp preserve. ABC's Trevor Alt says there are help.
Authorities have stressed the fact they brought a dive team in here at this nature reserve does not necessarily mean they found anything. They say they've also brought in boats, even sonar equipment, to try to make sure that if Brian Laundrie is here and even underwater, they can still find him.
In Kentucky, the search continuing for the shooter yesterday who opened fire on kids at a bus stop in Louisville. Sharita Smith's 16-year-old son, Tyree, was killed.
My son left out of my door at 6:15. He called me at 6:18 and said, "Mama, I got shot." So what am I supposed to do when I'm guiding my son down the right path and he get killed and hurt by senseless violence?
Police say it appears to be gang-related. Another child was injured. At least 5 people killed yesterday in a string of attacks in Afghanistan. It's believed ISIS militants are trying to challenge the Taliban control of the country. And a reputed Connecticut mobster long linked to a massive art heist has died. Robert Gentile has been a key figure in the investigation into an unsolved robbery 31 years ago at a Boston museum. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
When you needed your mom, she was always there with the Vicks Vapor Rub. Its soothing scent calmed you back then, and it still does today. Awaken those childhood memories with the care and comfort of Vicks Vapor Rub. Trusted for generations.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Our cold front has moved east, and we are going to see a beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine for the afternoon, as we'll see a mostly sunny sky. And our highs today quite pleasant. They're in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Clear sky, cooler tonight. Will be in the upper 40s for some of us, back in the low to mid 50s for most of us Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another day full of sunshine. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. More sunshine Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's warming up nicely. We're up to 55 degrees now in sunny skies. It's going to be a great fall day. Temperature about 73 today, dropping tonight back down to 45, a little cooler than we are right now. So fall is definitely here. Again, right now, 55 degrees. It's 9:05.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. You're on the road again, I see, and glad to have you on the telephone with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. You know what? For those who've been following the chronology and the journey of my mother's move up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I am so happy, pleased, and blessed to report that she got keys to her place up here. And we're going to, in just a couple hours, we're going to get on the road and head back down to Virginia. And then I'll be heading to Mount Airy, where I'll be, Jim, at the Salt and Light Conference for North Carolina Faith and Freedom. Of course, we had earlier in the week Jason Williams on. That was so great. And I'll be there flying the WCAB flag and doing some interviews with the speakers, which, as we mentioned, include people like Mike Huckabee and Madison Cawthorn and Robert Jeffers and others. So, but Jim, I am so excited because we're going to get a slice of real America today on My Great America with Jim and Butch. I am sitting in the family room of my favorite uncle, Uncle Lee. Uncle Lee Shannon is going to be our guest this morning. Uncle Lee, say hi to Jim Bishop.
Hey, Jim. Glad to speak with you and be with you guys. Hello, all you North Carolinians, especially the western part.
There you go, Lee. We're so glad to have you on the radio with us.
Well, glad to be here, bud.
You know, the thing, we're going to talk, Jim, today about mentors, and people have heard me say that I come from a very large family. My mother was the oldest of 11, and it was a dysfunctional family of origin that I came from, and because of that, my mother, who was just a great and continues to be a great parent, she would ship us off in a good way to put us in front of godly mentors, and I'm unabashed in saying this. I love all of my uncles, but my very favorite uncle is Uncle Lee, and he had a fall here a few days ago. He's closing in, believe it or not, on 85. He was a professional truck driver for almost 40 years. He is a patriot beyond description, and he was a formative influence in my life, Jim. So he's going to be a guest today on My Great America.
He's my kind of guy, somebody that has lived and lives to tell a great story of America.
Right. And so, Jim, if it's okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask a few questions here of Uncle Lee. Is that all right?
That'd be great. I'm anxious to hear them.
Okay. So, Uncle Lee.
Yes, Butch.
Okay. You're a proud American, right?
Yes, I am.
And you believe in the Second Amendment?
I do.
And you were born where?
Eloquippa, Pennsylvania, steel mill country.
Steel mill, and what was that like growing up?
That was great. It was hard work working steel mills in the hot of summer and that, but you know it made you tough. You learn to be tough and handle any job that came along, and that's been good for me all my life.
So when you were young, you had instilled. I mean, you didn't really have any choice. You had to learn how to work hard, didn't you?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I sure did.
What were like some of your first jobs?
First job was taking care of my grandmother's vast orchard she had. I was the only one left. My brothers were in the service. I was there to take care of all the vineyards, all the trees, the fruit trees, everything. I was there to help her, and all that hard work really built character in me, and I needed it as life went on.
And then when did you end up starting in trucking as a professional truck driver?
In trucking, probably not till when I moved to Dallas around the age of 20, and there I started my trucking, right, for Santa Fe Trail in Dallas.
Okay, and you know, one of my early memories when I was shipped up here to the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, I don't know what you were hauling. It was something local. It may have been eggs or something like that, but you know, you instilled in me, Uncle Lee, that it's important to work hard, to not complain. I mean, like right now, you deal with chronic pain in your back and you got issues with your knees and all of that, but I've never heard you complain, and you've always instilled in me from the time I was young personal responsibility, that we need to take responsibility for our actions.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about that. You got a lot of people, and don't be, by the way, you and Jim Bishop are cut out of the same cloth.
Oh, well, good. Glad to know that, Jim. Someone like myself. Good.
So you don't have to be afraid of what you say here. And then I'm going to let Jim ask some questions because, you know, we see, Uncle Lee, so many different people you see them on television or social media, people pontificating about America. But Jim and I, with this program, are very committed to let people hear and see real Americans.
Right.
And you're a real, like I'm sitting in your living area here, and you've got pictures of your family across the wall. You've got a sign that says family gathers here. You got another sign celebrating family. You've always impressed me as somebody that just really believed in the core values of America. So I want you to do this. I want you to tell me, what do you think about these people that say, hey, you know what? Let's change our history. God really didn't birth this country. The founding fathers didn't know Jesus.
Yeah, right.
The Constitution is a fluid document that can change. You're up on a soapbox. What would you say to those folks if they were? You can't punch them, but what would you say to them?
I'd have a lot to say to them. I'd say, look, brother, sister, you don't like this country, this beautiful America, as I like it. You don't like it, I'd put you on a plane to send you to Russia or China, and I'll tell you what, you wouldn't be there for a couple of days. You'd be crying to get back to this country. Yes, that's true. So it disgusts me that these people, you know, they want to sit home, do nothing, collect checks, do nothing. That's the problem with our country: laziness and just disrespect for law and order. And yeah, that disturbed me. I'm a man of principle, of justice. I would like to see more justice done in our country, but you know what's happening. It's been taken over by wimps and people like that, and that's the reason we're in the mess that we're in, because of the wimpy leaders that we have. And that's why they've got to go. We just let a good man go, and he was quite a man, Mr. Trump. You know that, Jim, as well as I do.
Absolutely. I'm wondering, as you were talking, Uncle Lee, I'm wondering if we can clone you and make several people like you to go out here and talk among our people.
I talk to a little bit. See, this was a formative influence in my life. You know, some of the seeds that my Uncle Lee planted in me, and Jim, in all those wandering years that I was a Democrat, where he still loved me. You still love me, right?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, but he loved me with a strong arm. Yeah, growing up, I remember him looking me in the eye and telling me it's important to work hard. Your truth needs to be your bond. God needs to be the center of everything. So, you know, we all benefit, Jim, from mentors, and my Uncle Lee continues to be he's showing me how to get older. You're almost 85, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost 8, and you dealt with some back issues and
quite a few issues, yeah. But I pressed on, Lord gave me grace to move on, fight the fight, and run the race, not quit complaining. I can't look back and blame my father or anyone else. No, God said be a man, and that's what I tend to do, be a man till the end. And I try to install this in young men. I write letters to my nephews and tough ex-Marines and that, and in those letters, I'm tough on them. I'm saying, look, be a man. Be a man. Think of your family. Get right with God. So I'm tough with them. I don't let them off easy, because I wasn't let off easy. And I appreciate the hard work, which did build character in me and I try to do that with young men that I come in contact with.
You know, one of the conversations, Jim, too, that I've had with Uncle Lee through the years is he's just talked about the importance of making sure that our foundation is set and our foundation is in God. And he instilled in me, too, don't complain. Don't talk about being a victim. Right. Don't talk about your parents didn't raise you right. Don't talk about opportunities you didn't have. You know, all these things now that the cloud of my, almost 10 years of alcohol addiction was miraculously taken from me by the living God who was merciful. He was one of the voices. Uncle Lee was one of the voices in my life saying, don't you end your life having failed to meet God's purposes for it. And, I'm just so grateful for that. Now, Aliquippa is not like San Francisco, is it?
No, it's a steel mill country, yeah.
Yeah, and so you grew up with a lot of folks that knew the power of hard work and the power of being a patriot.
Right. Mm-hmm. True. Yeah. We had our bad places and bad times, but hey, you learn to work through them. No complaining. We worked through them. I never heard my mother complain, hard as she worked. My father, my brothers, and that. I'd still be working today, Jim. If it weren't for my hips down, my legs, with the operations on, I'd still be working. I was working right up till I was 82.
Oh, yes.
And then I'd be out there today working.
So, Jim, maybe you have a couple of questions, and then you and I will jump on here. Maybe you have a question.
I do have one. I admire, I'm going to call him Uncle Lee, too. I admire him for his determination, and that's the key to American success is folks who are not willing, who don't want to give up, who want to keep going and fighting in spite of all the things. I want to ask you also, as driving a truck, were you a long-haul driver across the nation, or was it short hauls, or where did you drive?
Most of mine was here in the East. Yeah. Pretty local in that.
In driving, and I know you met a lot of folks and saw different. What over those years? What did you see? What one thing that stands out in your mind that you appreciated about America that let you know that America really is a great nation to live in? Is one thing stand out in your mind above all others?
Well, I got to know. You get to know many people, many truck drivers, and you have your good and bad in anything. You hear your complainers and you hear your not complainers. So I've got to know, a lot of people, and there's a lot of good, patriotic, hardworking people out there, who wants what's good for our country. And, so it was quite an experience. But I made sure, though, Jim, that I was home most every night, because I've seen drivers go out there, be gone for days, and their families went with them out the door. And it just messed up the whole family. But I made it a point to be home every night to raise my kids, not somebody else raising them. Yeah. So, that's I made a point of that.
I liked what you said about being tough on young people and talking to them about being strong in character. If I could line up right now 100 college-age students in front of you, what advice would you give to them?
To young people?
Yeah, you had a group of 100 people in front of you, and they're all listening, and the door is shut and locked. What would you say to them about America, about their life? What would be you're going on 85. What would be the principles you'd give them? What would you say to them?
Well, really, the first thing I'd say right off is get right with God. That's the bottom line. If you're not walking with God, you're going down the wrong path right off. Get right with God, get Christ, bring him into your life, and you can't go wrong. There's only two ways, the narrow path and the wide. If you're going down that wide path, you're going with millions, walking right into hell with your eyes open. So that's, other than that, I would tell them, get a job, get a occupation, whether it be electrician, plumber, whatever. Get something that's going to last, and you can go anywhere in the country and do that job. So I leave pretty much like that. Get right with God, and you can't go wrong.
And, as a young person, Jim, I'm talking about, 9, 10, 11, all through my life, Uncle Lee's been, I'm going to talk about you third person for a minute. He's been an influence in my life. And, the term that people use is being a mentor. He's been a mentor to me in an environment where I had an absentee dad and frankly, an abusive dad. And I think of some of the things that some folks in our nation have said, Steve Jobs once said, of course he founded Apple Computer, my job is not to be easy on people. My job is to take these great people we have and to push them and make them even better. That's what a mentor does. Or Winston Churchill, who once said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Mm-hmm. You know, my Uncle Lee and my Aunt Lois, my extended family up here in Lancaster, are all givers. It's one of the best barometers of the heart to answer the question, what's going on with you and God? People that are following Jesus are not people that are going to be selfish, because God called us to give our lives away. Greater love hath no man than this, than to lay down his life for a friend. And then I really like what Denzel Washington, you know, who's been a tremendous mentor to African Americans, what he said. He said, show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences in his or her life. I don't care what you do for a living. If you do it well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on or showing you the way, someone who was a true mentor. And so, you know, here you have one example of that in my Uncle Lee. And I want to say this publicly. I am so grateful, Uncle Lee, that through the twists and turns of my life and the places where you saw me wandering on that broad road, that you didn't give up hope. And so we have the opportunity even here today to celebrate the fact that in the land of the living, God has shown his goodness that way. Right. And I believe there are many more people like you out there, don't you?
Oh, I'm sure, without a doubt. Yeah. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. And we need to bring those people to the front and let folks know that there are people like Lee still out there, still fighting the good fight and not afraid to speak the truth to people. It seems like, as he mentioned earlier, there's too many wimpy people out there that are afraid to speak up. Now, fortunately, we've got a organization right here in Rutherford County that does a lot of mentoring. It's the Robert and Janice McNair Education Foundation, and they train a lot of young people, and they have mentors that help them that are struggling through difficult situations, get them through school, get them through high school, and help focus them toward a college education or a career. So those are the kind of people, Robert McNair and his wife, Janice, that are doing positive things even right here in Rutherford County in our high schools that I applaud greatly.
That is so good. And, you know, Jim, I think of the, you know, you and I have talked about this before, and I've mentioned it on the air. I've been to far too much school in my life. I've read far too many books. But, you know, the lessons that were really embedded deep in my heart and the ones that have become like mighty oaks of righteousness in my life are lessons I didn't learn in a classroom so much. Right. It was being with my Uncle Lee in a truck. It was being with my Uncle Harold, who just passed away on a dairy farm, who taught me how to drive, taught me how to run a baler, taught me how to, you know, wash the udders of cows and put a Deal-A-Bow milker on there, taught me about the incredible beauty of getting unpasteurized milk from that big stainless steel Deal-A-Bow machine, big container, and putting that on cornflakes with fresh cut strawberries. And, you know, I know it wasn't good for the arteries of his heart or maybe mine, but those lessons, you know, are knowing how to deal with an angry herd sire, a bull that's leaning against you, against the fence. And, you know, he picked up a ball-peen hammer one time, and he didn't crush the skull of this bull, but he hit it right between the eyes, because he said sometimes that's what it takes to get him to move. All those lessons have become so important. And you had mentors in your life too, didn't you, Jim?
I sure did. Of course, I didn't have the kind of background that you were referring to in strong uncles. My dad had a lot of brothers, but none of them were in a situation where they could do mentoring. They all did very well in their life. But growing up in a minister's home, a lot of my mentors came from Sunday school teachers that took a young boy like myself, and outside of the church, outside the sermon on Sunday mornings, we'd go on little camping trips, and they were helping me mold my life, mold my mind, in appreciation of our country and appreciation of the Bible and what it means to us as Christians to live by those examples. And they didn't beat me over the head with it, but they were able to share some things, and I was able to ask questions of them that I didn't feel comfortable asking my pastor dad. So those kind of people are important to other people that need somebody they can turn to. And fortunately, there have been people like your Uncle Lee that we can turn to and say, hey, what do you think about this situation? What's the real answer to what we're going through right now? So those people, and we don't need to avoid it. And all of us are not intellects. Somebody accused Henry Ford one time of not being very bright and asked him a question. He said, I don't know the answer to that, but give me 5 minutes and I'll have some people here who can ask that question for you. Surround yourself with people that can move you to the next level.
That is so good, Jim. And the thing that God's been showing me more and more too, this country was not made great because it was started or filled with people who were know-it-alls. This country was made great because there was a spirit of collaboration and dependence on God. One of the great failures of the nation and leadership, I believe, comes when people think they know outside of God. King David, whenever he inquired of God, God made it clear, it's time to go into battle. This is what's going to happen. Trust and obey me, and you'll see the victory. Whenever there was a case in Scripture of not inquiring of God, it's almost as if God says, okay, you're on your own. And we live in a world that is too dark and too treacherous for us to ever say that we can do it without God's help. And you know what? I have been inspired. I would be remiss if I didn't say this. I've been inspired in the best kind of way by the examples that I have at my own church, Jim. I've got an octogenarian pastor who continues to have a profound influence in my life. She doesn't complain about aches and pains of getting older. No, there's a clarion call to what has God called us to today. And Jim, it's something I appreciate about you so much. I mean, you could have been one of those people at this point in your life that said, I'm just going to shut things down and retire and play golf and just be with my family. But you still have a fire in your bones, like the ancient prophets said in the Old Testament. You still have a fire in your bones and a desire to not let America go down the tubes on our watch. Amen. You and I have talked about that. What are our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren going to say about this season of America's history when they ask the poignant question, what did you do? What did you do when you had the opportunity to do something about a nation that is slipping away from the moorings of its Constitution and biblical righteousness? And Jim, you and I have made a commitment to each other on My Great America with Jim and Butch as a little outpost and oracle of Rutherford County and the surrounding area. We are going to keep proclaiming truth because it's only truth that will set us free.
Amen. Amen.
It only takes a spark to get the flame going.
It only takes a spark to get a fire going. And you know what? My Uncle Lee just said amen. Amen. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me because I know he's not loose with his words. And you know what? I
like that man.
You know what? You're going to. I pray we have the opportunity for him to meet people face to face.
I'd love to meet you, Jim.
I'd love to meet you too, Lee.
He is one of those grizzled Americans. He's one of those people that his truth is his bond. His handshake is like a grizzly bear. He works tirelessly. He doesn't complain, and it's those values, among others, that have made America great. So, as we end the program here, Jim, as we often do, and thanks for giving the opportunity as he sits in his chair here and heals from this recent fall. As we often do, we want to make sure that we leave you with a landmark of Scripture. So listen to what it says in Romans 5, 3 and 4. It says this, and not only this, but with joy, let us exult in our sufferings and rejoice in our hardships, knowing that hardship, distress, pressure, trouble produces patient endurance, and endurance, proven character, spiritual maturity, and proven character, hope and confident assurance of eternal salvation.
Amen to that.
That verse reminds me of you, Uncle Lee, and it reminds me of you, Jim. So America's going to be made great as we all suit up and show up, and take personal responsibility, and let God be the guide of our life.
It's been great meeting you, Lee, and Butch is glad to talk to you again. I look forward to seeing you again next week on My Great America with Jim and Butch, and enjoy the conference on Saturday, and give my regards to Governor Huckabee.
I will do that.
Keep fighting the fight, Jim. Keep marching on. Fighting's a good fight.
Thank you very much. I'll do that.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.